In this step-by-step guide, we'll explore the different input types available in Marble, take a quick tour of the interface, and finish by stitching 3 separate worlds together into one seamless environment. Before we get started, here's a quick look at the final world we'll be creating. Everything you're seeing here was created in Marble, and by the end of this tutorial, you'll know how to create worlds like this yourself. Let's get started. Marble supports a variety of input types, including text prompts, single images, panoramas, multiple images, video inputs, and 3D structures. We begin on the Explore page, where you can browse worlds created by other users and explore different style categories. Next is the Worlds page, where all of your generated scenes live. Studio contains projects where you've removed splats or stitched environments together. The Help menu provides quick access to tutorials, documentation, and additional resources. We highly recommend checking out the docs for tips on getting the best results with text, image, and video inputs. You'll also find sample SPZ files, collider meshes, and high-quality textured exports there. There are several ways to get started. You can explore Marble using our built-in examples by selecting presets, or click Roll for Marbles to generate a random preset world. You can start by entering a text prompt. When I'm working with text prompts, I often start with an image I've created in Midjourney and ask ChatGPT to generate a detailed prompt based on that image. Marble supports between 1 and 8 image inputs. As images are added, you can choose how they influence the final environment. With 2 to 4 images, you can use manual layout, allowing you to assign the direction to each environment. If you'd like Marble to interpret the images and build the environment automatically, select Auto Layout. Auto Layout supports 2 to 8 images and works especially well for realistic photos. For example, you can take pictures while rotating 360 degrees around a room. You can also upload video inputs. For best results, record from a single position while slowly rotating 360 degrees around the space. The 3D layout option is called Chisel. Chisel is ideal for architects, designers, and creators who already have a GLB environment and want to generate worlds from existing 3D content. For this example, I started with a style reference created by one of our artists and used ChatGPT to generate several additional rooms that will later stitch together. For best results, we recommend using images with a straight-on eye-level camera view. If you have an image you really like, but it was generated from an offset angle, you can use ChatGPT to recreate it from a straight-on perspective before importing it into Marble. Before generating, you can select a model now or choose one later in edit mode. Marble 1.1 Plus delivers our highest quality results and automatically expands the environment. Manual expansion is not available with the Plus model. Marble 1.1 produces high-quality worlds and supports manual expansion in a single direction. Marble 1.0 is our earlier generation model, and draft mode generates a lower quality preview, allowing you to quickly evaluate a concept before committing to a full quality generation. The settings menu allows you to choose a seed and set your world as public or private. Clicking the drop-down next to Create reveals 2 options. Create immediately generates the world. Create and Edit opens the panorama editor first, allowing you to make adjustments before creating the final world. Regardless of which option you choose, all worlds can be edited later. For this example, I'll select Create for the first scene. For the next scene, I'll choose Create and Edit. Notice how Marble automatically opens the editing workspace. This workflow is especially useful when you want to refine the panorama before generation. You can remove unwanted elements, add new objects, modify specific areas, or clean up artifacts before creating the final world. In this pano, there's a distorted chair I'd like to remove. Click Select Edit Area, draw a box around the object, and enter a prompt describing the change you'd like to make. I often include instructions such as maintain the existing style and lighting to help Nano Banana produce more consistent edits, and click Apply Edit. Now that the chair is removed, I can select my preferred model, which is Marble 1.1 Plus, and select Create World. Once the worlds have finished generating, it's time to bring them into Studio. You can open Studio by clicking the easel icon in the viewer's bottom toolbar. Now we're in the Studio editor. On the right side of the screen is the Properties panel. This is where you'll find settings for navigation, transforms, scene controls, and splat properties. You can also share and export your project from here. The gear icon opens the Controls menu, where you can view keyboard shortcuts and adjust settings such as mouse and trackpad behavior. Along the bottom toolbar are the tools you'll use most while editing. The plus button allows you to import worlds, splats, and meshes, as well as add box and sphere masks. Next are the Brush, Move, Rotate, and Scale tools, followed by the Origin button, which returns you to the center of the scene. Whenever possible, I recommend keeping the floor of your world aligned to the scene origin. This can make exporting and moving scenes into other applications much easier later in your workflow. On the left side of the screen is the scene hierarchy, where all of your worlds, masks, splats, and other assets are organized. The hamburger menu provides access to additional scene management tools, project controls, and quick shortcuts. We'll be using many of these tools throughout the rest of the tutorial, so let's start preparing our worlds for stitching. You can add a box mask from the plus button, but I recommend right-clicking a world in the scene hierarchy and selecting Add Box Mask. This automatically places the mask inside the selected world, making it easier to manage. My preferred workflow is to position the mask around the area I want to keep. One thing to note is that the Scale tool scales uniformly. If you need more precise control, you can adjust the X, Y, and Z scale values independently. Then enable the Invert toggle. Both of these controls are located in the Properties panel. This allows you to preserve the section you want while removing everything else in a single step. The Move, Rotate, and Scale tools work on whichever object is currently selected in the scene hierarchy, whether that's a world, mask, or imported asset. The goal is to expose the doorway while removing any unwanted splats. Taking the time to line up the rooms properly will help create seamless transitions and a much cleaner final world. Now I'm going to import the next world. To do this, click the plus button, select Import World, and then choose the world you'd like to bring into the space. I usually move the imported world upward temporarily so I can clearly see the alignment process. I generally prefer masks over the brush tool when stitching worlds together because they're fast, non-destructive, and easy to adjust later. The brush tool is best for cleaning up floaters, artifacts, and smaller areas that would be difficult to isolate with a mask. To use the brush tool, make sure the splat you want to edit is selected in the scene hierarchy. A useful trick when cleaning up floaters is to temporarily add a box mask and hide part of the environment. This exposes floating artifacts that may otherwise be difficult to see and makes them much easier to remove. If your goal is only to clean up floating artifacts, you can hide or delete the mask once you're finished. For this example, I'm keeping the mask because I want to expose this doorway and connect it to another world. The goal is to align the rooms so you can move naturally between them without seeing unwanted splats or overlapping geometry. One thing to keep in mind when using the brush tool is that it doesn't currently have depth control, so it's helpful to align your camera to only target the splats you want to remove. Anything behind the area you're brushing will also be removed. Also note that once you've made brush edits and leave Studio, any splats you've removed are permanently deleted. For that reason, I recommend using masks whenever possible and reserving the brush tool for smaller cleanup tasks. Next, I'll add the patio environment. For this scene, I want to preserve part of the sky while removing unnecessary splats. I also add a second box mask to further clean up the scene. Another tip when building worlds for stitching is to think about how the rooms will connect while generating your images. For this example, I asked ChatGPT to create rooms with similar arched doorways. It makes lining up the rooms much easier and helps the transition feel a lot cleaner. Now I want to clean up the floor transition. You can see that when I removed the splats to expose the doorway, part of this tile was cut off. To fix that, I'm going to duplicate the world and move it into place to fill the gap. To duplicate a world, select the splat you'd like to duplicate and use Command-C, Command-V on Mac or Control-C, Control-V on Windows. After duplicating it, I add a box mask, invert it, and isolate the floor tile. Then I simply move that tile into position. Some splats from another world are still visible underneath, so I'll add another box mask to remove the overlap. This creates a much cleaner final result. Finally, let's look at how to bring your own splat assets into Marble. This chair is a little distorted, so I'd like to replace it with a cleaner version. Start by taking a screenshot of the object and sending it to ChatGPT or your preferred editing tool. Ask it to isolate and upscale the object. Once you have the isolated image, you can convert it into a splat using tools such as Sam3D, which is free, or Trellis, which is a paid tool. The first asset generation tool I'm showing is Trellis. To use Trellis, upload your image and click Generate. Once it's finished, you'll have the option to click Extract Gaussian to generate your splat. The next tool is Sam3D. Upload your image and click on the parts of the object you want to keep. As you select areas, they'll turn pink. Once the object is fully highlighted, click Generate 3D. When it's finished rendering, click the Download button in the top right corner and export the asset as a PLY file. To import the asset, click the plus button and select Import Splats. I prefer importing splat assets because they can be included when exporting the final world as a single SPZ file. GLB assets, on the other hand, must be exported separately and reassembled in another application. I generated versions of the chair using both SAM3D and Trellis to compare the results. After comparing the two, I preferred the Trellis version, so that's the one I'll use in this world. With the new asset imported, I'll remove the original chair using a box mask and position the replacement in its place. What's nice about this is that the shadow from the original chair is still there, so the new asset blends into the scene really well. Now I'd like to show you how to create videos and capture screenshots from your world. Click the video button at the top of the screen to start. For video creation, add keyframes throughout your scene using the plus button. You can also download the keyframe JSON file for reuse or further editing. When you're ready to export, you'll find multiple resolution and output size options that allow you to customize the final video. Please note that you must remain on this page until the export process is complete. If you'd like to further enhance your video, you can optionally use video enhancement, which applies a video-to-video refinement pass and requires additional credits. The capture button allows you to save either a standard screenshot or a full panorama image. To view the world without UI elements, click the globe icon at the top of the screen. To return to editing mode, click the transform button. Once you're happy with your stitched world, it's time to export. Click Export in the upper right corner. Marble supports several export formats, including SPZ, PLY, and ZIP. For most workflows, I recommend using SPZ v3. On your world's page, you can access a variety of download options by clicking the download icon. The Download Settings menu contains additional export options that you can customize to fit your workflow. Once you've exported your world, you're ready to start using it in your own projects. Stay tuned for our upcoming Collider Mesh Builder tutorial, where we'll walk through creating collider meshes for large stitched environments like the one we built today. Thanks for watching and happy creating!